Hey folks, Colin Evans Financial Group. Thank you for joining us today in one of our weekly segments. This week's segment, we are creating a retirement strategy or the blueprint, the planning, the actual process of that, and putting that actual plan in place, and what you need to know about that and what you need to think about when it's your time to start planning and your time to start looking at that. Oh, let's hop into it. Across the country, we've got people that are saving for that someday of retirement. Everybody's is going to be a little bit different of a snapshot in their mind of what they think. It could be traveling, it could be going on cruises or grandkids or gardening or, working at my church and things of that nature. But we really start kind of honing down and planning on, that you think about, one day your career is going to end. You might go get a second job just to do something that's enjoyable. We have several clients that have done that. One of them, I thought it was hysterical. He wanted to work part-time at Home Depot, but he absolutely loves working there, and that was something that he wanted to do, and he's ecstatic because he gets a discount too. So there's going to be a day when that time comes where you might be living off of those savings, those investments, and now it's time to kick on that Social Security button, but many of the times we might not know when or how that will happen. And what's missing is a strategy, and putting that strategy in place might help you up your game just a little bit and put you in a little bit better position in the long run and thinking about the lengthy time frame of retirement. A retirement strategy directly addresses the when, the why, and the how of retirement time. It can also even address the where. You start breaking down this whole process as you get ready to retire, and you start looking at it in a form of actionable steps. This becomes really important because people can retire with doubts, and one of the biggest ones, which I've spoken about time and time again, is do I have enough money? Did I save enough? Will my income last as long as I do? Year after year, many workers are actually retiring a little bit earlier than planned. And just earlier in 2022, the Employee Benefits Research Institute just did a study, and about 47% of the people that they interviewed and polled, about 47% of them were actually retiring a little bit earlier than they planned on. I know here in our town up in Northwest Louisiana, we've had some plants closing or some plants doing some buyouts, and some of the people were kind of, I would say, forced a little bit into retirement, or went ahead and took their retirement nest egg early, which that's perfectly okay too. But it's got to be, you have to have a little bit of flexibility and be able to be prepared for that. Since it's, impossible to predict the future, one of the things to think about is having that long-range retirement strategy. There's a couple things that you can control and some things that you cannot control. One of the things, some of the things that you cannot control or have, nothing that you can do that can adjust this or fix this, or when you look at some of the things that are going on, especially like in economic times that we're seeing. Inflation, we don't know, if the market's going to change. We look at interest rates that are partnered in with inflation. What else is going on in our economy? Some of these other things that can go on that might cause a bump, or could be that I'm living off of a fixed income now, and this inflation thing is could start to hurt, or could be a little bit of an issue. But there are some things you actually can control. And having these things helping in your place, it's how do you save? How do you put that money back? What are you spending? What are you borrowing? Is how long are you going to work? Do you have a definitive time frame? Is there any family history of health? How is your health? Do we know if there's going to be any medical bumps down the road? we don't know, but that's some things that we get to plan for. But being able that we have the abilities, we also can have the abilities with those little nuggets to be a little bit more proactive, and it'll help us prepare. It'll help us prepare, and my strategy looks like I might need to tweak some things, might need to save a little bit more, maybe I need to skip the piece of cheesecake or something, things along those lines that play into our longer term as we start going into the retirement. A good retirement strategy has many, many elements. It's going to set your financial objectives. It's going to address your retirement income, how much you may need, and what are the sequences of withdrawals. What I mean by that is which pockets of money or which buckets of money in my retirement strategy am I taking funds out of? And are any of these more tax efficient than the other one, or some things that you really need to pay attention to? What's that magical age that you're going to pick up the Social Security? It can help you really establish and refine some of these objectives and examine any financial implications, of healthcare coming up, as well as transferring assets to heirs if that's something that you really would like to do, and passing on assets to another generation. A prudent retirement strategy also entertains, for lack of better words, I would say different consequences. And, financial professionals across the industry use different simulation softwares that are out there that are able to kind of plug and play a little bit of, what if XYZ happens in retirement? What if ABC happens in retirement? What about the inflation in my retirement? Or if Social Security gets taxed even more, or changes even more, or benefits from it are changed, or things of that nature? What am I going to take into consideration with that? And using these simulations can allow you to predict things a little bit better, and just give you a little bit more angles that you can be flexible with. So it helps really clarify, I would say, the what ifs in retirement, and at that stage in your life in retirement. And let that strategy guide you. You still have to be flexible. It doesn't mean that once you lay out that plan with your financial professional that this is all you have to go by. Life changes, and life throws us different curveballs, and we have to be able to be flexible. Reach out to your financial professional today and put a strategy in place. It will make those golden years so much more comforting and relaxing, knowing that you've actually got a plan and a strategy in place. If you don't have a financial professional, use the link below. I can set you up with one of our advisors here in our office in Shreveport, Louisiana. We can do a conference call, a Zoom call, or work by email, or even visit with you here in our office in Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm Colin Evans with Evans Financial Group, and this was Creating a Retirement Strategy. We'll see you guys next time.